Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Christine Josty. I'm from Mail Something Pretty, and I wanted to show you some of the new products from the new catalog, particularly the new in colors. So we have Magenta Madness, Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade, Bumblebee, and Misty Moonlight. And these colors are called the, 2020-2022 in colors. So they are around for the next 2 years, which is very exciting. So I'm going to show you how to make this sunflower card that uses the coordinating Flowers for Everything designer series paper. And this one comes in a 6x6 pack, and it features these same in colors here. So you have flowers, but really this poinsettias, looks like peonies, roses, more peonies. Some of them are hard to tell. So there's flowers on one side, and then there's kind of geometric shapes and images, stripes and stuff on the other side. So it's fun paper. It's happy. It's nice colors, and you can use it for everything, which is kind of what we want, right? Okay, so let's see. Before we get started, I'm going to show you two other, I'm just going to move these aside, two other versions of this card. Stampin' Up! Has been having a movement like simple stamping going on, so we're trying to do some cards that are a little bit simpler for beginners, and so this is kind of my first level card for a simple stamper. It's the sunflower, some words, and that sunflower paper. And then the next one this is the one that we're going to make. I'm going to show you kind of this cool technique on how to get the brown or the cinnamon cider inside the sunflower, and then it's just stepped up just a little bit with a little ribbon. And then the third card is kind of the really stepped up, or for like the avid crafter, that's what they're calling it. And so this one involves the dies that coordinate with the sunflower set and the new punch and some other kind of little extras. But these are they're similar and they're all nice, but we will make the middle one. So that's what I just wanted to show you, the two other versions. And I'm going to be using the new Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set. It does come with a coordinating die set that I didn't bring up here, but does cut out the shapes of the flowers and has extra, I didn't put the extra ones on it, extra lines. I'll show you that in something else. And in case you're wondering, some of my stamp sets you're going to see have this fun little gold smiley face, and that is to indicate to me, but to others, that I received this stamp set for free because I'm a demonstrator and I earn some products for free, and there's lots of different ways of earning free products, whether it be for signing on or being a demonstrator or sales marks or recruiting or all sorts of ways. But in case you're wondering about that smiley face, and I would love to show you different ways of earning things for free as well. Okay, so the Flowers for Every Season Suite this is in that new catalog. Showcases, they actually have new bundles, and so this one's expensive, but it includes like 2 stamp sets, 2 die sets, the ribbons, the card bases, the papers, tons and tons of stuff, a punch. But here's the stamp set. This is the one that we're going to use. And then the ribbon is on here too that we'll use. I'm just trying to think. And then this is another picture of the paper. Okay, so just so you know where I'm finding things. All right, we're going to start with cutting our paper. I have the new Misty Moonlight cardstock. And what I like to do with cards that are in the horizontal or the landscape position, if I remember, I like to open them this way. Because if they open this way, sometimes they flop. You're going to see my mistake here in a second. I had stamped the inside before I stamped the outside, so I have to switch up the inside because I don't want it to be a repeat. I had it plain, and then I liked the image on the front. But so this way, when it it stands like that. It doesn't like flop. And so how I do that is I use my trimmer, and I am going to, so sometimes to get 2 bases out of 1 piece of cardstock, I'll score both at the same time. And so I just have to remember I do it the right way. I'm going to score, the score is the light gray one, score on the 5 1/2, which is half of 11. Then I'm gonna flip it and then cut it on the 4 1/4, which is half of the 8 1/2. And then that way I get 2 scored pieces at once. And so like that. If I was going to do it the other way, but I won't even confuse it. I would just flip the measurements around. All right, so that is done with the trimmer. So that's the card base. The inside is 5 1/4 by 4. And I can put all the measurements in the supplies. If you're watching this for the open house purpose, I'm going to have a list of all the supplies and measurements for you. And then if you're just watching this later on after I post it, I will, I'll try to post it on my website. But anyways, that's just a standard inside. And then I have my piece, where's my sample? The piece that's going to go here, and this is 3 1/2 by 4. And then my designer paper, oh, that's too big. I'm going to trim it. That's 1 1/2 by 4. Just make sure I cut it right. Yep. So this one wasn't cut right. So sorry, that's a quick little cut. Okay. And the really cool thing was I wanted to show you was how I got the inside of this, the brown and the sunflower. So I'm going to, this is a Stamparatus, and it does tons of things, and one of the things I'll show you, but it kind of takes place of the blocks. So when you have your stamps, and then normally you would put like a clear block on top, and that's how you would stamp them. The Stamparatus kind of takes place of that, and it does a whole lot more. So you will notice that I have some lines here, and this is just washi tape. It easily comes up, and I put it down here so that you'll see when I move papers. I always know where I'm putting my paper, and I'm just grabbing another piece just to show you when we get the time to do it. So there's lots of different ways of showing you, but when you use a Stamparatus, you're going to, wherever you're going to put your stamp or your, sorry if I'm mixing you up, I'm going to put my paper right here. So I know I want my sunflower to go right there. So I'm going to close it, and it's going to stick here. Oh, it already had some ink on there. I guess I didn't clean it. I have extra paper. It doesn't matter, but okay, so I have my clean piece of paper here. I have my stamp on there, and I'm going to take the bumblebee. Oh, and then it comes with 2 magnets. So I'm going to actually just put one on here now, and it just holds the paper down. And they're very strong magnets. You don't want them to touch each other because they can break. All right, and so my next step is I actually want to stamp the sunflower without the middle. So because then we're going to stamp the middle separately. So how I did that is I took a 1-inch punch and just made a circle. And I'm going to put it over, and it's 1 inch because I measured the inside of the flower. And then I'm going to put it on top. If you don't have a punch, a 1/4 is the exact same size. You can just kind of cut out a 1/4 or cut out a piece of paper from a 1/4. And then I'm going to take my bumblebee ink. I'm going to ink it in that direction, and the piece of paper is going to come off. And then I'm going to take tweezers, and I'm going to put it back. Get a little inky. And then I'm going to ink in the opposite direction. And the reason I do that, it's probably hard to see, I didn't ink this side or really this side just because of the size of the ink pad. If you had a smaller stamp, you wouldn't have to do it twice. But that way I know that my sunflower is covered. This I'm just going to promptly throw away so I don't get it on me. And you'll see, like, you'll get, it removes some of the ink, and eventually you will just want to re-ink it. Or you can just take a, but if you take a credit card or something, you can kind of move the ink around that way. Now I'm going to put this somewhere where I don't get inky. Okay, so now I'm going to just close this and stamp. Oh, I'm going to fix my paper. And press, it's a big stamp, so I want to press on all sides. And there you go, I stamped it without the middle. So now I can leave the yellow on there because it's okay if you restamp it. I'm going to take my cinnamon cider, which is what I want the inside to be. And I have these sponge daubers. And what I like to do is, they come in a package of 5, I guess. I take washi tape again and I write the name of the color on it and then just stick it on there, because sometimes some colors look like other colors. So this one says cider, so I know it's cinnamon cider. And they just pop right on your finger. And I'm just gonna dab, and then I'm gonna dab the sponge right on, just on the middle. And you can go over a little bit, right? Because sunflower seeds sometimes go over. And then make sure my paper, this is what's important about the this tape, so I know that my paper is in alignment. I'm gonna close it again. And then I get the inside. Isn't that cool? So that's one way of kind of getting 2 sets. And so if I was going to, I guess I should have done it. If I was going to do multiples, I would have done all the yellows first, you know, putting the papers in, and then I would do all the browns first so that you don't have to clean it off in between, you know, each one. But a good way of cleaning it off, these are those simple chamois. Just kind of wipe it down. And then that cleans it off, so if I wanted to do it again. All right, so that is one very cool way of using a Stamparatus. And so now for the assembly of the card. Oh, you know what? Let me actually show you one more thing. We can even stamp, I originally had my thanks a bunch on a block. But I'll just show you another way, since we have the Stamparatus here. So I want my thanks a bunch. You just kind of line it up where you want it to go. I want it to go there. I'm going to take this off. Stick that on. And then I'm going to take my Misty Moonlight. Sometimes, actually, another trick I like to do, I put just the stamps under here and it raises it up, so it makes it a little easier. It's like a level. All right, so that's all inked up. And then I'm just gonna close it and press. And there you go. So that's kind of like the entryway of using the Stamparatus instead of blocks. And then you can just wipe it off and put it back into your case. Okay, so now we're going to assemble the card. I'm just going to close my ink so I don't get, these are a little, you can see how stiff they are because they're brand new. They will loosen up a little bit. Okay, so we are just going to assemble. Stampin' Up! Came up with a new adhesive. We had been using the snail, which still works. It's fine. It's can't get refills. They're all sold out. So they have the new Stampin' Seal. It comes in this, it's a resealable bag or pouch. And they do that, uh-oh, I brought up the wrong one. Shoot. Oh, I brought up here. No, I have them both. That's the refill. It comes, it looks like, let's see it. It's a little bit bigger than the snail. The yardage is a whole lot more, so you get a whole lot more in it. And I'll do a video another time on how to refill it, because I haven't refilled mine yet. But basically the case just comes off and you put the refill in, and then you put the case back together. Before we had this little open door, so now there's a whole, just the top comes off. And so I'm sure that will get lost because it's see-through. But it works similarly. You just hold it and you just pull it back. Now the snail made a noise. This one doesn't make a noise. I kind of miss using the noise. But it is a stronger adhesive than the snail, so that's good. I'm just putting that right there. Let's see. It's a little quieter. But you can see it's really strong. And then I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm just going to finish off with my ribbon. This ribbon comes in a 2-pack. So you get this Just Jade gingham, which I love. And then you get this, you can see it's white in the Misty Moonlight combined with some silver threaded around it, which is fun. So what I did on this one is I just kind of folded the ribbon in half, cut it on an angle, and then I'm just going to, usually I leave them attached to the spool and then tie, but this one I'm going to cut. I'm going to put this down, fold this again because I came apart, and put that down. I'm just going to use a block to hold it down, and then I'm going to tie a double knot. You know, some people don't like tying bows, so this is kind of not a full bow with ribbon. So you can leave it and cut it like that, or you can do a bow. Okay, and then I'm just going to attach it with a glue dot. I'm just going to stick my glue dot right on the back of that knot, and I'm going to do another one just to have two, and then you can kind of stick it down wherever you want it. There you go. So there you go. We didn't really do the inside. I'm just going to actually think I cut this one a little short, but that's all right. And so then you can write whatever, or your message. Trying to think if any of the others go with the thanks a bunch, but not really. Maybe I'll stamp some leaves. I can do that real quick. I'll stamp some leaves with the jade. I don't like to leave my cards empty on the inside. I want a little something. So there you go, a couple little leaves. All right, so there is, I made a mess, the card. I'll show you the kind of the beginner, the middle, and the, I don't want to say the end, the avid, beginner, the casual, and the avid cards. Thanks for watching. I'm Christine Josty at Mail Something Pretty. I'm trying to think, for open house people, there's more videos and things to come. I'm excited to show you more. And then if you're just watching this on the replay, be sure to check out all my channels, YouTube and Facebook, and my blog at mailsomethingpretty.com. Okay, thanks so much. Bye-bye.